Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the Pathfinders podcast. I'm your host, Maithan Nahdi. In the last episode, we talked about the history of World Expos. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the significance of having a pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai, specifically talking to Dr. Akki about the UAEU's pavilion at Expo.
My name is Dr. Akki. I'm actually a faculty member at the Department of Physics and am associated with the National Space Science and Technology Center as well. So my main area of research is astronomy and space science. So I do a lot of projects and research in those areas, and I also teach the MSc Space Science and the BSc Space Science program students as well. So I do all the things that are related to space science in one way or the other. In terms of the Expo, I was actually involved from the very beginning as part of the core team of the Expo, and I started off by looking into the various aspects of, let's say, the Pathfinders program and what is it that's going to be showcased at the Expo. So for now, I'm serving as the project management lead for the Expo 2020 project for the UAE University, and I look after a number of things that are required to be done to execute the program at the Expo. And I'm also involved in the strategic development of the Pathfinders program. So whenever my contribution is required, I show up for that as well.
It's amazing, and it sounds like the work has started a long time ago, especially on the pavilion. And this leads me to my next question is about how did you feel when you first heard about Expo happening first in Dubai and then having the UAEU having its own pavilion at Expo? What was the feeling then, and how did that journey specifically start?
No, it was, it was extremely exciting and fascinating when we knew that there is Expo that is going to be Expo, the major Expo event, which is an international event. It is going to be held in Dubai in 2020, and then knowing that UAE University is going to be the only academic institution that's going to have its own pavilion, that was also enthralling and fascinating to say the least. Expo coming to Dubai, it was actually seen as a huge opportunity for people to see what the UAE is all about, what Dubai is all about, and how this country and the city of Dubai can play a central role in showcasing innovation and how that can lead to creativity and futuristic developments. And as it's happening in Dubai, so obviously Dubai, in that sense, would become the center of that center stage for that whole activity, Expo. And then you can imagine that things would transform into opportunities and new initiatives and startups and all kinds of innovative solutions to the world problems. And obviously, the place which is holding it is going to take a central role in that. A lot of activity will remain in Dubai even after the Expo. So I do see it as a very, very significant event that is happening in Dubai, which is going to open up a large number of doors and avenues in almost every sector that you can imagine.
I think that it's going to be a mind-blowing experience for anyone. And I like the phrase that someone used, is that it's going to imagine the whole world in one room. And I think that really is something amazing that's going to happen. And I can't wait, and I'm excited for it. And I think that a lot of people are also excited for Expo. And specifically, the university community are excited for the UAEU's pavilion at Expo. So my next question is about the immersive and exciting experiences that are going to be held at the pavilion itself. You mentioned the Pathfinders program and other things. So I was wondering if you could maybe talk about these experiences and what people can expect from the pavilion itself.
Yes, that's a very relevant question, Meisa. So I think when the idea of having a UAE University Pavilion was conceived in the beginning. So there was some brainstorming as to what can be done, and I think what people can expect from it is the showcasing of something very unusual, disruptive, and innovative. So the key idea that is going to be presented at the UAE University Pavilion is actually a new method of education and a new disruptive method of education, which is going to be first sort of showcased like an exhibit in which we will give some ideas on how the education system is now, what do people go through, and then once they are through their degrees, what happens to them and what kind of challenges they face, and eventually it will present with them a solution. The climax would be the Pathfinders Program, which is going to be showcased at the UAE University. And again, this is a very non-traditional, I should say, non-traditional, unusual, disruptive, and very innovative education program in which there would be no barriers, no boundaries, as you do have in the standard education system that, people, when they get into universities, they go into electrical engineering, computer engineering, physics, chemistry, math, social sciences, and medical sciences, and whatever. That is something which has been going on till now. But in our case, in the Pathfinders program that we're going to showcase at the Expo, it is about, not exactly a specific discipline. It is about finding solutions to challenges under some major themes. And the students who will enroll in this program, they will be actually going through a journey in which first they will get into these immersive experiences to give them inspiration on what the different things that are required to solve a problem are. For example, you cannot solve problems with some knowledge of mathematics or physics or social science and so forth. But then doing the Pathfinders program would mean that you are actually earning your degree by actually solving a challenge.
I think one of the main things is the sense of togetherness and inclusivity that's bringing all of the teams together in order to provide this immersive experience for everyone. And it's also making me proud that I'm a part of the university community and a student at UAEU. And this leads me to my last question. I have a lot of questions to ask, but I don't think we can finish it in one day. So my last question is about the university community and how they can be a part of Expo, how they can be involved in this this impactful experience.
Yes, Mesa, that's actually a good question to close the discussion with. As I think I will take up your point that you raised just a second ago, that the whole Expo 2020 experience is all about bringing people together, right? Bringing people together and enhance the effectiveness of collaboration. There are innumerable avenues in which people can get involved in, because as you would imagine that Expo 2020 is the UAE Pavilion is such a large project, and so it has a number of dimensions that are required to be covered, and anyone who is passionate about any part of it is more than welcome to come to us and talk to us about it, and we will be able to find a way to get them involved.
And to second what you said, I think that in order to be involved, you have to be aware. And I think the easiest way to do that is to follow up with the social media accounts that are associated with the pavilion and the university.
Absolutely.
And I think there are, as you mentioned, a lot of ways in which people could get involved. Not only just the university community, but anyone who's interested as you. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Pathfinders podcast. This episode was produced and directed by me, Mithan Nehdi. Join us in the next episode to learn more about how we dig deeper into the groundwork that it took to create the UAEU Pavilion.